Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another live post-game edition. This is our first live this season post-game after a victory. And it's a big special one because we haven't had a home victory in many, many weeks. So a lot of good stuff to talk about. We're very happy to do it. Let's not waste any time. Sammy, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Ward looking. Looping out of trouble. Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Spectacular. Cam Ward, welcome to Nashville.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another edition post-game live Sick Podcast Talking Titans. Joined always by my counterpart, Jarrett. Before we get into this game today, we will first, as always, give a special shout out to our great sponsors over at DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every playoff moment feel bigger. DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If the player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6sports. That's code 6sports to turn $5 into 300 bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right, Jarrett, we are live after a 26-9 Titans home victory in which they played a quarterback for the majority of the game that I did not know existed. If you could put those lights back on, that would be helpful. What did you think about that, Jarrett?
I mean, listen, a win is a win, and something's got to go on right now between me and you with no facial hair. I guess
Yeah.
we got to keep it going, I guess, with the streak, with the wins right now. So I don't know. I mean, the Titans, they've shown progress, and that's what we've been preaching on this podcast and show now, like I said, for the last 3 years. So Cam Ward looks great. He broke the single season franchise record for passing yards for the Titans. Obviously, this is a milestone for him and a milestone for us leading up into next year and for the future for this team. I mean, kudos to him passing Marcus Mariota, your GOAT, back in the day. And listen, he has a chance to throw for 3,000 yards and add to his touchdowns going into the next couple weeks over here to end out the season. So it's progression. He's looked great. That's now three straight weeks with 2+ touchdowns and 8 touchdowns and 1 interceptions in the last couple of games over here. And just to top it all off now, we're over 24+ points in 4 of the last 5 games. So, I mean, there's a lot of progression going on right now. Cam Ward has seen the field a lot more. Besides the Gunnar Helm throw, I think he should have cut his toenail. That's how close it was on that. Cam Ward could have made a better throw. He could have threw it a little earlier to him a little bit, but those are growing pains. Hopefully he's going to learn from that. But he's looked phenomenal in the last couple of weeks over here, and just to what he's been showing with the rookies and the progression, like I've been saying, this is what we wanted, guys. Everybody watching, this is what we've been preaching right now. Yeah, the wins aren't there, but the Chiefs has a top 4 rushing defense, and we ran all over them. The Seahawks, the Texans, the Jaguars, the 49ers, the Browns, all these teams, we're scoring, besides the Jaguars, we're scoring 20+ points on them. That shows a lot. And going down the stretch right now, how this team is not folding and they're playing, hard on defense. Harrell, another great game on defense. That's 3 sacks in total this season for him. He's got his first sack with a forced fumble last year, 7th round rookie coming out of Michigan. No one really gave him any flowers. But again, if we're drafting and we're developing players like we're doing right now, that room, the sky's the limit, and he's played well. James Williams, stepping in for Cedric Gray. Cedric Gray, another young guy, leading the league almost in tackles. I think he's third in the league. And James Williams comes right in, boom, records a sack. Played his ass off. This team has been playing very well in recent weeks, and the future is very. Look at. I'm going to say it, and Paul takes it right out of my. The future is really bright for this team, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it's going to be a tough one next week against the Saints too.
Yeah. I mean, this was a depleted Kansas City offense, and I'm not going to take anything away from Cam Ward's performance today because it was one of the best, if not the best. Finishing 21 of 28, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only sacked twice. So I mean, that is very good. And, Chris Jones was out there. So I'm not gonna, that was very good. But obviously this team got very fortunate that, the Kansas City backup, not only, of course, obviously their starter was not there, but their backup got hurt. And they were able to take advantage of a guy that I'm sure had no idea he was going to be suiting up and playing in an NFL game a week ago. So, in that regard, there's a lot of good to take away from this. I've said from the beginning, Jarett, if this team is going to win during a pointless season for the most part, if it's going to come if it's going to come from Cam Ward being successful and showing growth, then I'm all for it because that's the most important thing with the rest of the season finishing up is this kid is as prepared for next season as possible, and he is, as confident as possible. And wins are going to come from that. But if this was going to be a similar win like the Cleveland win where it was completely Tony Pollard and some turnovers, then it was going to be a little empty. But this one was not empty. Obviously, Tony Pollard still had a pretty good day, over 100 yards. Tajay Spears had a very good day as well. They're getting the run game going. Offensive line still needs some work. I think Cam Ward's athletic ability this week saved them from the stat sheet being worse than it was, and we got to give him credit for that. But at least in the run game, they're doing good things. So there's growth. There's some growth showing here, and it boils down to this: they're showing positive offensive, possessions with points, and they have one of, if not the worst offense in sports. So
listen, that's the mascot right now. This is
Brando.
I think we were
Brando's very
last
happy.
time,
Brando's very excited for Cam Ward's success, right? Yes, yeah, very excited. But overall, just really good. It's tough, even the people who think, "Oh, I'm such a pessimistic," no, there was a lot of good. He missed some throws, the Gunnar Helm throw, no matter how the game ended, and we're happy the way the game ended. That's a throw that just can't be missed on a consistent basis, and we all know that. That was a horrible ball, wide open, no pressure. He's got to be right on point there, and I believe he will be moving forward. Cam seems like the guy that doesn't make the same mistake more than once or twice, tops, and that's very important.
And learns his from mistake. He definitely sits on the sideline, talks it out, looks at the iPad. You definitely see him. And he wants to win the determination. Week in and week out. Another guy who is another shining bright star who continuously shows is Chim DK. I think he's tied now with the likes of A.J. Brown, Chris Johnson, and Vince Young for 6+ touchdowns in a rookie year. I mean, those are some really good guys to put comps to, especially for him. It looks like we finally found like a slot receiver like we always wanted. And for you guys that are wondering, what this win, I don't know if you guys want, we need draft, we need this, we need the draft capital. We did move down in the draft at number 5 currently right now, right? But guys, we need a lot. Okay, we got the $100 million. We got the $100 million, but there's guys in the top 5 and even in the top 7 that are really going to help us if we draft right. And if drafting right means Bain, who had a fantastic game yesterday against Texas A&M, or another guy like Cardell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State. He could just fall right into our lap. So don't get it twisted right now with the draft. Just be happy that the quarterback that everyone's worried about, and there's still people online and the people that cover this team that don't believe in Cam Ward, saying he should make that throw. Absolutely, but you know what? No rookie ever is perfect in the NFL.
No.
In their rookie year. So, when it's bad, it's bad. And if it was continuously bad, like it was the beginning of the season, I'm going to have my doubts. But what he showed the last couple of weeks now, out of the last 5 weeks, there's a lot of good. And for him to, put his completion percentage up, his passer rating up, continuously throw over 200 yards, continuously have multiple touchdown games without any mistakes, interceptions, using his feet more. This is what we wanted to see out of Cam Ward, and we're seeing it in the last 5 weeks.
And I
Hopefully
think
it
so.
ends in the last 2 weeks with a strong Saints team now who has a lot to prove, and a Jaguars that are fighting, for positioning in the AFC. So if we could play spoiler like that after what they gave us, we lost 35-3 against them. I would love to play spoilers against them, the last week of the season. So we'll see.
And something else to be confident about or feel good about. I mean, this still wasn't a game in which we felt, I think, that we were pass first. I mean, we still tried to establish the run as often as physically possible, and you still saw a great stat line from Cam Ward. So, again, assuming that this next coach is going to want to put him as the focal point of the offense and not the ground game, I think sky's the limit. I will give Tennessee credit, whether that be Mike McCoy and Bo Hardigree. I think they gave him a little bit more freedom in the second half to throw the ball. I still don't think it was enough, but it's more than he's gotten before, and I think that's why you saw some success being able to be compounded, because he's getting confident the more they're allowing him to be the quarterback. You saw in the first month, arguably 2 months of the season, they treated him like no different than Malik Willis.
Yeah.
They treated him no different. We're running the damn ball, and we'll give you a chance here and there on a 3rd and 8 to move the chains. But I mean, I think obviously the writing was on the wall how that wasn't going to be sustainable, and multiple people have lost their job because of it. And I think people in the organization are finally realizing, like, hey, you know what? I think we need to just cut our losses and realize that we're not always right here, and we need to be a throwing first team. And you're seeing some success because of it. Yeah, Skoronski's great. They got to extend him this offseason, if not as soon as they possibly can, because I
Draft and
don't want to
obtain.
have to lose out on him.
That's what they've been preaching. Draft and obtain, and I think that's going to be the first one that's going to get signed this off season. We'll get into that as the year is over. But some more good things and some bad things out of this game, Sal. A lot of positive, like we said. Where was it? Third down efficiency. Today, it was the best third down efficiency we had all year, 9 of 17. 0 for 4 for fourth downs. It was good and refreshing just to see them. That I wish they went for it, this last fourth down where they kicked the field goal. I wish they went for it on there. But it was refreshing to see them go for some fourth downs today a lot more often. And then the biggest, it's a head scratcher. I mean, the team is still young, but 12 penalties still undisciplined. They're stupid penalties as well. Jeffrey Simmons had another one, and I'm not talking about the eligible on offense, because he did report. I don't know what Bleekman was looking at.
Cost me a lot of money, that play.
Yeah. The biggest take that we should take from here, like I said, the Chiefs have a very good defense. Just because their record doesn't speak for it doesn't mean that they don't have a good defense. They were 4th in the league in rushing defense. And for what we did, we could have been 4 for 4 today in the red zone. Now, that's a head scratcher for all you Titan fans listening. We could have been 4 for 4 if it wasn't for the Jeffrey Simmons report for eligible. And then, what was it, the block in the back that got brought back, the Tajay Spears touchdown? Yeah. Either way, 3 of 4 against another really good defense. Signs point up. The way this team is starting to gel, and the offensive line play, a little bit better again today, especially when we're running the ball and giving Cam Ward time to throw. So all the stats look great today.
I think the biggest, if you wanted to simplify our struggles as much as you possibly could, I think it would all boil down to how conservative this team has played football, not just this year, for the past couple of years. And I think, the easiest way to see a quick, I don't want to say turnaround, but, the quickest way to help yourself start gaining success is to stop being so conservative. And I think you saw a lot less conservative play today, and you saw Cam, he was going to the sideline, like, we're going for it. And that's just, if you're able to hit on decent success when you go for it as much as you do, I mean, that's going to translate into victories, and you're seeing some stuff happen now that should get you excited, and it's going to boil down to the coach It's always what it's going to boil down to. We've said it a million times, and I know it's probably getting annoying, but there's you gotta find someone that's going to get the best out of your guys each and every week. And I don't know if those of you that are watching didn't see there was a specific instance with this game specifically where there was chief players on the sideline after a bad play, and they were yelling at their guys. I don't know who they were specifically. They looked like they might have been offensive linemen, but those are the kinds of things. Like, they're out of it. Their top quarterback is hurt, and they're still holding everyone accountable, yelling at them. We got to wake the fuck up. That's what we need with the people on this roster next year, and more importantly, that's what we need from the head coach. We need to see the juice. We need to see the smoke coming off their heads, and hopefully all the people that are in line for interviews have that passion, because, we're there. We're right there, man. And we got to compound more positives instead of negatives.
Yeah, no, seriously. And the biggest thing is, as I have a guest now too, over here. The biggest thing is the progression. And like, you've seen what the Bears did yesterday. It's very hard to not see what the Bears did yesterday, especially with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
especially that as he gets whisked away now.
Yeah.
As he's in a locker room, and you see the fire up with the 4 game balls, and how they go from one of the worst teams last year and with struggles, and now the energy that he's brought. And like we've always been saying, Mike Vrabel with the turnaround with year 2 quarterback, not year 2. You get with Drake May, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You see the turnarounds now. It always starts at the top with the head coach. You get a good scheme, and you're putting the players in where Ben Johnson is now with Caleb Williams, and you're going to what his niches are. That's the biggest thing. And whether it be Nagy, the list that Diana Rossini came out, I don't know if you saw that, Sal.
Yeah, I did.
It was very underwhelming in my opinion, and a lot of first year head coaches and everything. We're not into that, but listen. The guy needs to have juice, and I've always said I wanted a veteran, whether it be Nagy or McCarthy or anything. But if Cam Ward's involved with this, and Borgonzi's involved with it, obviously with Brinker, if Cam likes the guy and his vision and his style of offense, we have to trust the process now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whoever that may be, you just hope it has that juice as Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel that we've had, and so on and so forth, like the McVays of the world.
When everyone's bought in, you convert the 4th and 1s. When everyone's bought in, you stop the opposing team's 4th and 1s.
Yeah.
And those are the differences between winning, losing, seeds, whether you get a bye, this, that. And we need someone that's going to have everyone buy in. So before we head out for today, we got a couple questions. We want to give our crew a chance to throw them up. So let's start here. It was said that the Titans have moved back to pick number 6 in the draft. If they win next week, it will be 10. Are you more for winning or draft selection? Yeah, I'll start with this one because I said it briefly in my video. Obviously, I want the best draft position possible, especially when it appears like Borgazzi seems like someone who really does well with his scouting. But if winning's gonna come from Cam Ward being successful, then I have no choice but to not be upset about that. I want Cam Ward to be successful. I want him to be able to carry some confidence into this offseason. And a little bit of a win streak, if it's going to cost us position. If the guy in the first round is in the top 10 and is super, super impactful, that's going to be great. It's going to be great for us next year. So, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, no matter what, and like I said, we didn't move back to 6 quite yet. We're sitting at 5, and that's per tankathon, and that's they're pretty good, and with the draft automatically, especially after the wins and losses. But we currently sit at 5, and like I said, it's the best player available in my opinion. Whether it be Bain, I don't want another offensive lineman. Whether it be Tyson, whether it be Tate, we'll get into all that stuff later on. Towards the year. And listen, if Jeremiah Love's sitting there at 8, take him. You want to keep surrounding your quarterback with talent, take him. If Tate is off, if Tyson's off, and Bain's off, and Reese is off, and Love is just sitting there with the best offensive lineman. I value touchdowns right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And if we can get the quarterback surrounded with a lot of skill position players, and then go after free agents, veteran tackles and offensive linemen with the money that we have, so be it. But we
Yeah,
need touchdowns right now.
I agree. Let's get another one up there, Sam. Do y'all see anything from Nagy that he should be a top candidate? I mean, you won Coach of the Year twice, so I don't. I would assume that would probably be something to put up on the bulletin board for pro, winning Coach of the Year twice. So, yeah, he did. I mean, despite what you think of him on the surface level, on paper, I mean, he should probably be the number one candidate for the Titans. What he did with the Bears, his accolades. So, I mean, I don't know why anyone wouldn't look at that on the surface level and say he should be at least considered. Now, I've been on the record saying many times that I don't get any kind of excitement out of him as far as energy level in any way. He doesn't look like a guy that would rally a group of troops to go into war, but his track record speaks for itself. What he did with the Bears, and when again, they don't give Coach of the Year to people that don't deserve it. So
Yeah, and he was a benefit. He was a benefit of a shit roster, kind of like Vrabel was in Nashville, where his departure came. Another reason why his departure left. The Bears too. I mean, he had a couple good seasons, and all of a sudden, it faded off because the roster was just terrible. And now he goes back to Kansas City under one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history too, and Andy Reid, and he's a protege of Andy Reid. So I think a second stint at a head coach, just like Vrabel's getting right now, and some of these other coaches, I think would benefit us, especially Pat Mahomes. And listen, again, don't get it twisted. The play style is very similar to Cam Ward and Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying Cam Ward's Patrick Mahomes, but the play style, the way
yeah,
they play, is very similar, and he has similarities.
it's
So
almost identical, actually. We could just say it.
Nagy may like that, and it may
Yeah.
be attractive, especially with the top pick, especially with the $130 million we're going to have after cuts. And Borgonzi has the ties, so absolutely, I would call him the front runner.
Yeah. And I said this today. The one thing I'm going to definitely do is I'm not gonna make any quick judgments about the decision. Because I've liked every hire this team's had for the most part throughout all these hire fires over the
Yeah.
past half decade. So, um, for me to make these huge assumptions about how what's gonna happen, I'm gonna try to go into it with an open mind, whether it's someone like Matt Nagy or if it's someone that's not even on the radar right now. Um, I'm gonna try not to let it get the best of me.
You know, it's just like how this team is showing growth. This show also is showing growth
Yeah,
because
I
we
say
made a
it though.
we made a
I'm just
pat
saying it.
we made a pat to each other, this offseason, especially after drafting Cam Moore. We're not going to get overly excited and say we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to see what Cam Ward's done, right? We'll make that decision after the first season. We got 2 more games left with the head coaching search now going into it next year. We could be excited about it, but we're going to make that judgment after the first full season, right?
Yeah.
If there's progression, I like that, because
Well, I
us
didn't
Titan
say full
fans,
season.
especially us, we could be the hothead Titan fans, and we're going to tell it the way it is. Some fans may want to say it, but this show shows them that they can say it because we're just nose hole barred, and like I said, we wear our colors with pride, whether we have 1 win or 2 win, and we're going to speak our minds because our opinion matters. Because theoretically, we put the money to the players with the merchandise, with the sales, with the tickets, with everything. So I'm happy how this is going to play out now, moving forward. But
Yeah. Couple more questions, Sam. Do you ever take Denard Wilson stand next season, be it a new head coach bringing in his own DC? Yeah, I mean, right now, all the candidates, according to Rossini, for the most part, are DCs. So if they're going to be DCs, I think that would probably benefit Denard Wilson staying because, I don't know. I mean, if they're going to take away his play calling duties, then maybe he wouldn't want to stay. I don't know how that would work if the DC now becoming head coach would want to do that again or what. But I'll say this. I think I'm as impartial to it as I can be. I wouldn't mind if they gave someone a chance. I wouldn't mind if they kept him. I think he's done enough with what he's had to at least not be considered a bad offensive coordinator. I certainly don't think he's consistent enough with the production that his defenses have to really, feel super confident about want to keep him. But I wouldn't be upset either way.
Yeah, no. And just to touch on, just to go backwards on the Matt Nagy situation now, they had a graphic up, which I didn't realize before the game, that his contract expired after this season with the Chiefs, and with the downfall that they're having right now, and Kelsey may retire, and Patrick Mahomes probably not even playing next year, or possibly playing next year with the ACL, and now Gardner Minshew now with the ACL. I think his time is up again. I think he'll be ready for a head coaching position, whether it be us, the Giants, or anybody else. But I value him as the favorite. As much as Denard Wilson, if it is Nagy, I don't know that relationship that they have together. He could stick, for just continuity purposes wise, especially, the defense is playing well. He may want to just keep it, and then he just, calls the offense and brings his guys in. Who knows? But I'm all for keeping continuity. Denard Wilson has shown good, and it's a lack of playmakers and a ton of rookies on the defense. But we are playing well. We got after the quarterback again today, so I have no hard feelings with Denard Wilson.
Yeah. Let's take one more question, Sam, and then we'll head out. If we sign Pickens, well, we're not signing Pickens. They're not getting rid of him in any universe. But
and to be honest with you, I don't want him.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You guys can put a pitchfork
you
at me
don't
all you
want
want.
him.
I don't want him.
I know you don't want him.
He is great, but what he did with the Cowboys, and
Who
laziness
cares?
sometimes.
Who cares?
And I was the one that said we need a diva wide receiver. But when you're diva stuff like that, I'm talking diva like Diggs and AJ Brown, that kind of diva, not where you're walking and you're lazy with your routes.
I'll say this though, I would trust Cam Ward as a leader to at least get him to be as good as he can be.
I'll give you that.
So, but again, it's never going to happen. But because Dallas doesn't get rid of him, they'll franchise tag him before they let him walk. But what was the question again? Put it up one more time.
If we took Pickens, will we still draft a wide receiver in the first round?
Well, no, I don't think they would. Let's play devil's advocate. If they somehow got him, definitely don't take a receiver in the second round, because you're looking at Pickens, Io Manor, DK. I mean, these are guys that I think with real offensive schemes, like people who know how to get people open, they're going to be stars. Gunnar Helm. I mean, I don't know how many more times we can see production from Gunnar Helm in such a small window of opportunity for him before we realize, hey, this guy should maybe be like a second option on every throwing down.
Listen, the rookie class
maybe
is
at
special.
first. So
yeah, the rookie class is special this year. Gunnar Helm breaking the record for receptions for a tight end. DK, like I mentioned already, 6 touchdowns. He's in the likes of those guys that I mentioned already. And now Cam Ward, being the all-time franchise leader for a rookie. I mean, that's 3 rookies making an impact. And like I said, the future is bright for this team, the way everyone's playing. So.
Yeah. But I'll say this. I really think no matter what, they should get a proven, legitimate. They should attempt, if there's availability there, whether that be trade or free agency, which I know it's slim, free agency, but they should try to get a really good established pass catcher on the roster next year, so they're not fully depending on, putting a number or first round pick in a situation where they're asking him to be the number 1 guy day one. I mean, sometimes that works out. Sometimes they're ready for that kind of pressure, but I prefer that not to be the case. So I could be talking about an Alec Pierce type. I mean, I'm fully on board with that. At first I wasn't. Now I am. I think he's an incredible opportunity there. Wow, right on cue there. So, like, if you could bring a guy like that in, then that really takes a lot of the pressure off, because I think Alec Pierce has the ability to be, a first option in a sense.
I mean, he is too. And like I said, Io Manor shows that he could be the 2-3, possibly DK could be the slot, but I still think we need a solidified vet, like you said, at wide receiver 1, your hardcore 1, and I still think another one, like a 2, like a Tate. Even if we do get, like, let's say a sign and trade with Garrett Wilson, I still think in the first round you still go after Tate, and that wide receiver room really looks good, because then you have a bona fide 1, you have a bona fide 2 and a rookie, and then you have those 2 other guys that showed great signs this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's how you surround your quarterback with talent.
Yeah, listen, we got 2 more games to go through to find out where we're going to be picking, and then we'll let all the cards fall where they like. Because obviously, I think a lot of where they're going to attack kind of is going to come down to where they're going to finish this, what
Let's
number they're going to be at.
absolutely, but let's not forget too. Tyreek Hill's still sitting there, this offseason. So I mean, who knows?
Yeah. No, I mean, listen. This team needs to do whatever they possibly can to be as good as they can next year, because how many more seasons are we going to just waste where, you're a month in and it's just a matter of how many of your fans want you to start losing already. It's just, I'm tired of it. So if he's there, talk to him, bring him in, whatever it takes. But we'll see. So we'll let everyone enjoy the rest of their Sunday night. As always, if you guys haven't done it already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the show with your friends. We're trying to build a family here, and we appreciate all the support we get after the games. All of you in here, we appreciate it mightily. And that's it, guys. So we'll touch base with you later on in the week, and we'll gear up for another home game against a team playing well. It'll be a good test for the Titans D. Tyler Shook's playing well, so we'll see how that all shapes up. But everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, tighten up. Sammy, send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.